We just took the time talking about the feeling we have when we experience dissonance and resonance in music. These same feelings can be used to help identify when you're functioning as your true self or when you're functioning as your false self.
Monsters wanna talk to me.
Hey there, Monster Whisperer crew. Hope you're living well. You can see I have my guitar with me today. Don't worry though, I'm not going to sing to you. I'm using it to talk about two words that are good to know while exploring our monsters and our identities. Let me do some strumming to get us started. Can you hear how that C chord is out of tune? It lacks harmony. You can hear and feel something is off. This is dissonance. Cue the corny Merriam-Webster nerd voice. Dissonance is defined as a mingling of sounds that strike the ear harshly. That all makes sense in this example, right? Something sounds off in that C chord. In the context of this chord, that off note strikes our ears harshly. It's just yucky. That's dissonance. Another definition of dissonance is simply a lack of agreement. Isn't that interesting? This definition is usually used in the context of communication between people, but you see how that applies musically in this example? The sound of the chord lacks agreement within itself. Now, if you're really perceptive, you know where I'm going with this. Well, you could have just read the title of the post to figure that out too. You're smart people. So it'll be no surprise for you to know the opposite of dissonance is, say it with me, resonance. Right, nailed it. Great job, everyone. Here's how resonance is defined. Cue the corny dictionary guy again. Resonance is the intensification and enriching of a musical tone by supplementary vibration. With music, resonance happens when notes come together in harmony. So in my example, if I get my guitar tuned back up, you can hear how that harsh sound becomes pleasant. There's harmony. What some people don't know is that with musical instruments, resonance happens based on the quality of the materials used to make the instrument. In my case, this Martin guitar is all mahogany, which is a good wood for a guitar. Not all people love it, but I do, and here's why. When I was looking at buying this guitar, I played it first. The previous owner had it all tuned up for me, which was great. So when I sat down and started playing it, I could hear instantly the harmony of the notes. But something else happened that absolutely sold me on this guitar. I felt the resonance of the sound pass through the guitar and enter my body. Subtle but important. The resonance of the guitar connected with the resonance of my body. It felt like an extension of myself, so I had to buy it. Sounds super weird, like a total musician geek sesh? You're right. So what in the H does all this dissonance and resonance stuff have to do with our monsters and our identities, for crying out loud? Let me explain the metaphor. We just took the time talking about the feeling we have when we experience dissonance and resonance in music. These same feelings can be used to help identify when you're functioning as your true self or when you're functioning as your false self. Resonance, that feeling of harmony, equals your true self. Dissonance equals the false self. Or maybe a better way to put it, dissonance tells us there's an opportunity to turn to our true self. Test this out. Pay attention to the moments when you feel the resonance or dissonance within you. Then get curious about it. Ask, why am I feeling this way in this situation? What is it about this moment that feels most true to me? These are tells that help you recognize other monsters within you that need exploring through dissonance. Then, recognizing when you've made friends with that part of you as you move to resonance. Learn to trust these two feelings as they teach you more about your strengths and your weaknesses. The more you pay attention to these feelings, the easier it becomes to recognize them, and the easier it becomes to make sure you're functioning out of your identity. So that's it for today. Resonance and dissonance. Keep feeling, keep learning, and as always, keep whispering.
Monsters wanna talk to me.